What is up? What's poppin'? You know it ain't no stopping. It is your boy, the International Sensei, back at it again. Hello, my friends. Please, as always, in the dojo, you must keep it right, keep it tight, and as always, you must talk to me nice. Welcome to another episode of the Enter the Dojo podcast, where I talk about everything fighting related, whether that is martial arts, combat sports, or fighting games. And I love myself some damn good fighting. And I'm going to talk about why people play certain characters that they do. And the biggest thing that I've seen within the fighting game community is the stupid tier list about characters that are super strong, what characters they think are the best, blah blah blah. And I mean, of course, I'm guilty of it as well because I commentate a ton. I watch a ton of fighting games, so I have certain knowledge. I notice certain things, certain tools the characters have, in order to say that you should either pick them over others or why on paper they would win over others. Now, the problem with that is, one, it's very subjective. People are always going to say their character is weaker in most cases. People are always going to go for characters that they lose to a lot, whether it is like a super heavy zoning character, a heavy rushdown character. Every character they have trouble with, a lot of people are going to say, oh, this character is so much better. And that happens a lot. I mean, people like to be self-serving, but hey, it is what it is. So I want to preface my comments by saying that. Also, anyone new to fighting games that wants to get into them competitive, do not look at no damn tier list when you are learning a new fighting game. You first of all, you suck too much for it to matter. That's number one. And number two is it really doesn't matter. Like it's too subjective for it to be concrete. And even it as subjective as it is, it doesn't matter from the standpoint that you might pick up a character that might be considered low tier, but he might body all of the best characters in the game. And that happens. So stay away from tier lists. Play who you like. Play who you think is cool. Whatever. So back to the main topic at hand. Why do people play the characters that they do? The first thing I would always say is people go for style, and by style I mean how the character plays. Is it a heavy zoning character like in Injustice where they had Deadshot, Starfire, Dr. Fate? In Street Fighter, they have characters like Manat, Guile, who really just keep you on the end of their normals or their projectiles all around, chip away at you bit by bit, and get their wins that way. Do you like the rush down, that crazy style, just going in there, balls to the wall, the mix-ups like a Black Canary, or in Tekken, you have characters like Lucky Chloe that has like crazy mix-up options and different stuff like that. Do you like in Guilty Gear where you have a character like like Chip or Slayer who have like absolute crazy rush down. When they get in, they stay in, and they do not want to go anywhere but in your face. Very hard to get them off you. Do you want a trap character, setup character type of character like a Joker, like in a Injustice and Mortal Kombat 11, like a Venom? He's a Guilty Gear character. He has like a lot of cool different setups and trap moves. Captain Cold. In Street Fighter, there would probably be, I would say, setup character would probably be like a Colleen, stuff like that. So who do you want? And then of course, do you want like a hybrid character? Do you want a character that's kind of like the best of both worlds? Batman comes to mind. I mean, he has everything. I mean, he has setups, he has zoning, he has rushdowns. He could pretty much play however he wants. I would say maybe a character like a Green Arrow. He was like that. In Guilty Gear, you have a character like Sin, who has like a lot of good rushdown, can zone with people. Elfelt. It just depends, man. It really just depends on what you like, what is your style, and how is your mental state. Like, are you that aggressive person? Are you that patient person that likes to just stay back, or do you like to just be a jack of all trades and have a little bit of everything? It's really up to you and how your mentality works. Me personally, I like to kind of be a jack of all trades. I like to be able to have all my bases covered. So in the games that I play, I try to play hybrid characters. So like Red Hood in Injustice, Cyborg in Injustice, Joker no, not Joker, and in MK. He's more of like a hybrid character in MK, I would say. Uh, it just really depends. Jackie Briggs in MK11, she's kind of a hybrid character, especially in the next gen variation. She can kind of mix and match her play style. Street Fighter 5, I played Rashid, which was a little bit more rush down. So it just depends. It really just depends. But I prefer to kind of be a jack of all trades with the characters that I pick. And moving on from that, you have the lore, the story of the character. Whether that is the backstory, for example, like let's go with Super Smash Brothers. Like in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, there's the Inklings. There's of course there's Mario. There's Sonic. There's Snake. There's tons of characters. So do you like the Metal Gear Solid series and be like, oh wow, this character is freaking awesome. I gotta play Solid. I gotta play Solid Snake. Or oh, I like the Inkling franchise. I want to play Inkling. I mean, I'm not Inkling franchise. What the hell am I talking about? The Splatoon franchise. But I want to play I want to play as the Inklings. Or I've been playing Super Mario since I was a kid. I want to play Mario. This is my favorite character. Blah blah blah. So you get the point. Uh, it's really about that. Or you can have like even a deeper personal relationship, of course, like with the Super Mario. You've played the character a lot. Or is it one of your like fan favorites? For example, MK11, he has Spawn now. And I mean, there are so many people that they did not care if Spawn was bad. They did not care if he was good. The fact that he was in the game, I'm seeing people that are religiously playing this character, trying to grind out matchups regardless of how hard they are because they love Spawn so much. Which is awesome. I mean, if you love a character, play them. Like I play Smash Ultimate sometimes. I love playing Inkling. That is literally the only character that I play because I think Inklings are cool. I enjoy the Splatoon franchise and things like that, so that's what I'm gonna play. Power Rangers. I am obsessed with Power Rangers SPD. That is to me the best season outside of Mighty Morphin because you gotta respect the OGs. But that is the best season that I've ever watched, and Anubis Doggy Kruger, aka Shadow Ranger, is my damn favorite. So I will get beat up, get smacked up, get waxed up with Shadow Ranger on my team just because he is my favorite Ranger. Alright, so that's another reason. And the last reason, that is honestly one of the biggest deciding factors. I wouldn't say for me, but I would say for a lot of people when I see them play certain games, or I see a person that plays a lot of games. Are you trying to get a character that is like very easy to learn but hard to master? Meaning they have simple game plans, but you can somewhat expand on it. But there is going to be a point where not necessarily learned all you need to learn, but there's kind of like a point where it tops off. Do you want a character that's easy all around, where it's just like, okay, his game plan is this is it. There is really like not much room for expansion. It stays about the same, and it stays consistent. Or do you want a high execution character with like a relatively hard game plan, a lot of depth in their game plan, the depth of field? What do you want? And I think it depends on the game, number one. But then it also depends on the person, obviously. For me, I don't know. I prefer for like anime games like Guilty Gear. I prefer a character like Venom, who is very high execution, but he has so much depth, and he has like a free form play style. So when I'm playing with him, even though I might not be the best Venom, I can play him how I see fit. I can play him in a way in which I can expand on his gameplay in my own unique way. Versus if I play someone like Sin, his game plan is relatively simple, his pressure is relatively simple and basic, so there isn't really much growth and expansion that you can go with that character. Or if the game is just like that, like MK11, I mean, it's in a lot of ways very watered down from the standpoint of there's not much freeform play style. every Liu Kang is gonna play the same. Every Aaron Black is gonna play the same. I mean, there's like very few characters that are gonna play different because the gameplay and the game plans that can be implemented by those characters are very simple. Um, and then also, if the game is a very easy game, and even if you have high execution characters, you might just not want to invest the time in that character. I mean, like I loved Injustice 2, but it was a very easy game to learn, and I didn't want to be playing like the highest of high execution characters and get freaking scrubbed out by Superman, which is a character that is all around easy. There really isn't much to him. I mean, his game plan is his game plan. It's pretty cut and dry. I mean, I've seen like one person really expand on his gameplay and kind of like elevate it a little bit, but that's really it. But for the most part, he's really simple. Do you want that? That's fine. And do you want a game that has that, or do you want a game where it accommodates all playstyles? I don't know. I think Guilty Gear is a great example of that. Tekken is an amazing example of that. I mean, they have all three of those styles. They have every type of character that you could think of, and they accommodate, especially with Tekken 7, they accommodate every type of playstyle. I mean, this is a game where you're having, of course, the Tekken mechanics, obviously. Then you're having a character like Mitsurugi. I mean, not Mitsurugi. Yoshimitsu. Excuse me, Yoshimitsu, who's somewhat like a Soul Calibur character. So you have like that weapons-based combat. Then you have Negan, which is also like a little bit of a Soul Calibur character, but he also has those like crazy staggers and plus frames that you have in NetherRealm games like a Mortal Kombat or an Injustice. Now that they have Noctis, which is like that easy character for like newbies to play. They have Geese Howard, Akuma for your 2D fighter fans. That's like kind of like an entry barrier for a 2D fighter player to the 3D realm. So it's great to get a game like that. Not every game is like that. Like I said, I mean MK11 is in a lot of ways very watered down, very simplistic in the way that you implement your game plan. Injustice 2 wasn't like that, but it was very easy to obviously to use the easy characters, but it was very frustrating to play a harder character. I mean, you're losing to a person that's pressing two buttons, and versus you having to craft this elaborate game plan, and you're having to deal with all this nonsense. Do you want to deal with that, or do you want to have an easier playstyle? It is just up to you. Like if you look at guys like Kazunoko, he plays, I wouldn't say easy characters, but very straightforward characters. I mean, they have their game plans, they do what they do. They have, but he loves the mix. Like he loves that rush on. He loves that crazy mix. I mean, he played Yun in Street Fighter 4. He played who else did he play? He played Raven in Guilty Gear. He had like the Yamcha team in Dragon Ball, so he likes his mix-ups. But he likes to just go in and do his thing and not have to worry about. I guess not really have to worry about his opponent that much. But it truly just depends. Whereas Justin Wong, I mean, he is the lame god. He loves to throw his limbs out there, throw his projectiles, keep you at bay all day, every day, and that's when you see them find success with Manat in a Street Fighter Five. He is the lame guy. That's how he is. But it just again truly depends on how you think. And I would say don't. Again, this goes back to the tier list. Don't go for the community top tier unless you really think that character's cool, unless you find that character fun, because you're gonna end up not wanting to play on that, and that is a fact. Like if you're losing and you're playing this top tier character that's boring as hell, you're not gonna want to play anymore. I played Superman. That had to be the most boring minutes of my life, and I'm like, I can't play this character anymore. All right, so pick a character that you enjoy, that fits your style, that maybe you like the story behind, but always consider the execution of the character. All right, but with that being said, that has been my time. Thank you guys for listening. This has been the Enter the Dojo podcast, and I am the International Sensei.